Greetings everyone, my name is Zetterville, and I welcome you all to my blind let's play of Megaman 3D 2, The Siege of Megacity, a 3D open-world Megaman classic fan game developed by lierinwait. This is the final game in the quote-unquote Megacity trilogy, the other titles in this series being Megaman in Megacity and Megaman 3D. Ever since I finished my Megaman 3D LP back in 2014, I have been meaning to play this title. From what I've heard, it's the biggest and best entry in this series, fixing several problems the previous games had. So without further ado, let's begin. So here's the backstory of this game. In the year 20XX, Megacity has been beset by marauding robots of unknown origin from the wastes of Earth. The citizens have evacuated to an underground bunker. Only the courageous Dr. Light and his robot children have remained above. Role: Protoman, Megaman. Heroes many times over. And Dr. Y's creation base. Only they can save Megacity. Here we are in the world. Here's the help menu. I hope it shows up on the video properly. I know it did in Megaman Megacity, but we'll have to see. Here we are, we have about the same control scheme and physics as Megaman 3D. To move around or rotate around Megaman, use the left and right arrow keys. To move forwards and backwards, press the up and down arrow keys. To strafe left and right, use the A and D keys. To jump, press the W key. And to fire Mega Buster or your currently selected weapon, press the spacebar. To talk with NPCs, as Dr. Light told us, press the spacebar when walking up to an NPC. That's one of the new additions in this game, in-world NPCs. No longer do we have to just talk using intercom. I think you'll do fine, Roll. We need all the help we can get. Just like in the previous games, in order to teleport to a location, press the T key. In order to unlock new teleporter spots, you have to go to the teleporter, use the teleporter, and then it becomes unlocked. Although in this point of the game, not all the teleporter spots are unlockable. This time, unlike the previous two games, there is no viruses corrupting them. They have the same AI as us, well, almost as us. Before I go out, let me showcase a few things. If we jump into this area, it'll refill both our life and weapon energy. And here's our menu. On the bottom is our map, bottom right the number of roadmasters we dispatched of. In this game we have 50, plus several secret ones probably. That's a huge improvement. On the top left here is our currently selected weapon, the Mega Buster, our special weapon. In this case we started with a base in Protoman Cull. You can call them down and they'll fight alongside you until they either run out of life energy, you exit the area, or you die. You only have a limited supply though, so use them sparingly. We also started with 6 life tanks and energy tanks. L tanks is this game's version of E tanks, and E tanks is this game's version of W tanks. I still don't know why lierinwait renamed them. You only have a limited supply though, that you can't buy them in shops, so use them sparingly. Not as sparingly as the calls to Protoman and base though. So let's get out of the lab. Eddie essentially acts like signposts for all these locations in the city. I will say that the city actually feels like a city. Look at the size of this world. We already have at least 25 squares, not counting all the unique locations with their own unique maps. As Protoman mentioned back in Dr. Light's lab, we actually have a new edition of these vehicles. To enter and ride one of them, press the spacebar. Every one of these vehicles has their own unique characteristics. For the motorcycle, you can shoot normally, but you have much faster horizontal momentum. You have no special attacks though. At least you can use your charge shot. Oh, by the way, the Mega Buster in this game, unlike Megaman 3D, actually has a charge shot. Unfortunately, the sound effect is super loud. That's a regression from Megaman and Megacity. Each one of these vehicles has a health bar, as you can see in the top left part of the screen next to my own health bar. And once it depletes, it blows up. There's no way to recharge it. Yet, at least. From what I know. For the hover vehicle, its special ability is firing 3 homing missiles at the nearest enemies. It does cost some weapon energy to use though. And you can also hover upwards a bit. However, once you do so, you can't get back down. At least the water sound effect has been reduced in volume. On the top left, below our health bar and energy bar is our compass. Use it to orient yourself relative to the map. So I need to reach with Kalinka as evidenced by the X mark on the map, so let's go north. Megacity University. Pre-collapse. I wonder what that's referring to. CPU. Reminds me of the CPU tower. We have a teleporter here, but it's purplish pink colored. But we do not have clearance to use this pad. As I said earlier, we need to defeat more Roadmasters and get to a certain part of the story. So I guess this is a university? I wish in Megaman 3D and 3D 2 you could actually tilt up and down the camera a bit. That would be super handy. This is definitely a museum. Pre-collapse society. Mechanization of every industry, medicine, cybernetics, robotics. They even established bases on an asteroid, the moon, Mars, even Jupiter's moons. An arms race begins. And heavy automation of industry. But unemployment reaches 50%. Seems like they didn't think it through. In addition to that, a lot of industries collapse. And then the environment collapses. Due to exploitation of planetary resources. Complete ecological and biological collapse. And nuclear warfare ensues, and most of the planet is destroyed and rendered inhabitable. So contact with other cities as well as the other colonies has been lost. Well, that's very dark. When I first started this game, I didn't expect the backstory to be that dark, especially compared with the other games in this series. If Megaman X is supposed to continue on from this game, there must be more survivors. That explains how a lot of Megaman Classics history is forgotten by that time frame. Then again, most of the world isn't irradiated in Megaman X's time frame. So I guess the world was fixed by then? Or it's a plot hole? Or this is essentially an alternate universe? Probably the latter. We have a different color teleporter. This is a green one, and that one said we can enter a ship. But I don't see a ship. I guess it's an outside colony or something? North Post. First attempt to build beyond Megacity after the collapse. Why does every block of the city have all these walls? I understand here because we're expanding outside the main cluster of the city, but inside, I guess it's done to lock down the city in case of attack. Especially considering all the irradiation as well as potential rogue robots in the wastelands. And as the city gradually got built up and expanded outside, more and more walls were built. There's Kalinka up over there. But first I want to pick up these upgrades. Starting from Megaman Treaty, scattered across the world are all these L and E upgrades. Picking up one of those extends either your life energy or weapon energy. In this case, by 3 bars. I could have only made this jump by using the motorcycle. And here's our first L tank, in the world that is. I find these to be a lot more useful compared to E-tanks, especially in Megaman Treaty and Megacity. Over a transmission signal, In order to enter the beacon, we need to dispatch of at least 6 Roadmasters. So we have 5 locations to go through. I'll be going through the closest facility to the north. And the facility is that away. I see an upgrade there. Getting to it is going to be a slight problem because most of the terrain looks about the same. I also like how every time you enter the screen and talk for Eddie for the first time, he'll drop a power-up. I would like more life energy extenders compared to weapon energy extenders. Wait, is there something there? I thought I saw something. There is. Another energy extender. And yet I fell off because I didn't see the hole there. Energy upgrade tree already. I need to get up to this hill from this side. I will say that this game is already using its 3D aspect a lot better than Megaman in 3D. There is a lot more verticality, much more than that game ever did. And we aren't even in a stage yet, we're in the open world. I hesitate to call this a Metroidvania for now. Remember what happened in Megaman and Megacity? It barely qualified as a Metroidvania. So let's enter the magnetic transfer facility. And now that I teleported into it, it's under my teleport location list. I wonder though, could I have accessed this area before I talked with Kalinka? On the map, the X's indicate where the Roadmasters are, and the circle indicates where we start the level from. And just like in Megaman and Megacity, every area can have more than one Roadmaster in them. This is nice, we actually have 3D magnets. Also, a much better introduction to this gimmick, as we have no bottomless pits beneath us, only a bunch of enemies. It seems these magnets rotate around the place somewhat randomly. And it seems there's no limit to their range, as long as you stand in front of them. Because of how the enemy invulnerability frames are longer compared to Megaman Classic, it's better to use charge shots and special weapons here, rather than spamming your Mega Buster. That offsets the fact that you have no shot limit in this game. Oh, by the way, every time you see this red symbol on top of a door, that means you must destroy all enemies in the room before it opens up. Normally these Neo Shopmen take 5 shots to destroy, but by using a charge shot, it just one-shots them. One fully charged charge shot, that is. It can be a bit hard to aim because precision movement isn't exactly in this game. Oh sure, we have more accurate physics to the NES titles ever since Megaman 3D, but there is no slow rotation. I want to go for those E-tanks. That went surprisingly well. For these segments, my main suggestion is to learn how to strafe. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. I can't make the jump here, as it's about 4 squares away, or 5 squares. So I will have to return back over here because I see 2 energy upgrades. Well, 1 energy and 1 life upgrade. Now, if you get stuck in one of these situations, you can reset the room by pressing F10. You're normally supposed to use this if you get soft locked, or if you get stuck in a block, but you can use it anywhere. Nevertheless, time to face off against the boss. Oh, hi there, Needleman. Needleman was actually the first boss I faced in Megaman 3D. In this case, he's even easier. Look at the amount of damage he's doing and look at the amount of damage I'm doing to him. The only dangerous aspect of this fight is running face first into him. In fact, he's even easier compared to the boss battle in Megaman 3D. As there, I only have access to the regular Mega Buster, no charge shots. So we gain access to our first weapon, the multi-shot. It works the exact same way as in Megaman 3D. Fires a spread of 5 shots at once. Although, due to the increased invulnerability period of all enemies, it's not as useful. That was a deliberate death over there, by the way. I want to be back at full health. Death abuse is pretty powerful in this entire series, especially when you're starting out and have no life upgrades. Also, another nice introduction to the rotating columns, or pillars. Starting off fairly easy, and there are no bottomless pits beneath me. Plus, there's a staircase behind me I can see. There are probably spikes and enemies down there. I see the hoppers. Against a group of weak foes, it's better to use the multi-shot. This is one of those areas where it's better to do strafe jumping. That is, strafe jumping is easier in several scenarios. Remember, no matter how you do the jump distance is the same. You can strafe jump the same distance as a regular jump. The same room I couldn't access before. Time to face off against the next boss. Against bosses, it's better to use the Mega Buster, due to his charge shot. Magnet Man. He alternates between pulling us towards him. I say alternates because every boss has more than one ability. Teleporting around the place. Well, I'm on the floor now, and there are spikes at some of these locations. I want to get back to that area. The problem is that I can't rotate fast enough. And if I fall down back on the floor, it's going to be a pain. And then occasionally he fires a spread of bullets. Especially when he tries doing this. Getting back up, especially when he's trying to magnetize me in a random location, can prove to be a bit of a problem. If he keeps doing this while I stand over here, it's a lot easier. That went surprisingly well. Magnetic Pulse, our first true special weapon. Ever since Megaman Treaty, special weapons have been split into two categories. Regular weapons, where you have infinite uses, like the multi-shot and Mega Buster, and special weapons like the Magnetic Pulse, which use some weapon energy to use. Every special weapon uses the energy bar, so be careful. So let's get out of here and go back to Dr. Light's lab. 2 down, 48 left to go. It seems the NPCs have a few more things to say. So we can only use the orange teleporters now. As I said before, I'll double check if I can access these levels before talking with Kalinka. This is a major improvement. Jumping into this energy column restores your health much faster compared to Megaman and Megacity, which took a while. This is a major improvement as well. And there was no energy restoration tube in Megaman Treaty. You know what? I'll be covering at least one more area in this episode. I've been meaning to LP this title for over 5 years now. This time I'll be using the hovercraft. Megaman Treaty holds a special place in this channel's history, as my Megaman Treaty LP was the first ever Megaman LP I did on this channel. The one following that was Megaman Rock Force. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I want to access the area to the south. Normally I would travel further to the north, but I'll break with that tradition and go south instead. This is another area I'll eventually be able to access. Oh no, that's not actually my next location, it's further south. I want to collect the D-tank first. Are there any other ones? That was even easier to get. I get the feeling I'll have to return back to the Mesa for a scripted event, or for another level. Mine, I'll go through this segment next. Guess this is where I disembark, as it just clips right through the platform. There's another U-tank over there, but I won't get it just yet. I'll get it in the next episode. Fine, I'll get it right now. As I said before, I'd really like to have more L-tanks over E-tanks. There's another one over there, as I said, next episode. And I clip right through the platform once again. That can be one of the issues of this game with moving platforms. This was also the case in Megaman 3D. Something I want to emphasize is that this game really feels like it takes place in a city, much more compared to Megaman and Megacity and Megaman 3D. Although Megaman 3D took place in an off-site mining colony, not an actual city. And we're in. Time to enter the mines. This will be an extended episode, but I don't mind it too much. As for now, this will be a tertiary LP, until the Megaman and Megacity LP is finished. So essentially an elevator segment in 3D, where we get shot at by all these meths, who can angle their shots by the way. I will say that the previous area and this area's MIDI soundtracks are a lot better compared to most of the MIDI soundtracks in Megaman Megacity and Megaman 3D. So far, I'm really liking most of the changes. The game overall feels more solid and better constructed. So another elevator segment, but this time we're chased by mets dropping from the ceiling. And this time we have 3 Roadmasters to dispatch of. I wonder what the magnetic pulse does to these enemies. Well, it one-shots them, so it's not a good comparison. How about against the Sniper Joes? So those are essentially enemy spawners, those cylindrical cylinders. Alright, that's neat. By using the magnetic pulse against the Sniper Joes, it pushes them back, along with damaging them. What are these? These are all suspended over bottomless pits, by the way. They count down, and they explode. So they're essentially the 3D representation of count bombs. I expected these to be a bit thicker. Boss already, Drill Man. I even was able to pick up that power-up. Drillman can just phase right through the terrain. I guess he's drilling through all this terrain. He can't destroy it though. That was super easy. As easy as the Needleman encounter. In some ways easier because I never got hit there. Drill upgrade. So it's a passive. Projectile attacks can penetrate objects when equipped. So just like Megaman Classic titles, where your Mega Buster can go through most objects. That's nice. First, I'm gonna dead abuse over here to get back at full health. I will say that the introduction of these count bombs wasn't done that well. It's done over a bombless pit. This should have been done over some safe, solid ground. I know we have infinite lives in this game, but still, it was done with the magnets and the rotating columns. It should have been done with the same with the count bombs. Or at least put count bombs near the entrance of this area. I know this game is non-linear, but still, at least teach the player of the new gimmicks. Nice usage of verticality here, as now we need to jump on top of all these count bombs. Oh well, every checkpoint is at the start of the room, or wherever you started the room, that is. You could do this faster by strafe jumping, but I'd rather not take the risk. Our next energy upgrade. So many weapon energy upgrades. No life upgrades yet. Ones I could have accessed, that is. All things considered, this room isn't too bad. There are plenty of bombs here. This room could have done with half the bombs and still be fairly challenging, but this feels too easy. Another elevator segment. Unlike Megaman Megacity though, at least all these areas feel like decently sized levels. Okay, this is different. We need to activate these switches. Some rooms require to deactivate all switches before the door opens. Those are indicated with a yellow square above the door. Even though in 2D space, these rooms are about the same size as they were back in Megaman and Megacity and Megaman 3D, the increased verticality makes up for it and makes the stages feel whole. Well, I can't access that part of the area yet, so I can't fight that boss. I need missiles, or the crash bomb. Or a platform, or super jumping. I'm gonna dead abuse once again. That count bomb looked a bit different, it had an arrow on top of it. There's a yellow square, so I need to activate that switch over there. But I can't reach it without jumping on top of this count bomb. What does this do? My first L-Tank upgrade, and if you're wondering how that works, essentially, once you jump on top of it, you can steer it. But once it hits an object, it will explode. Once again, that could have been better introduced in another screen, not over a bombless pit. In fact, this is an entirely new gimmick added with this game. This can be implemented in 2D, but it wouldn't be as good as in 3D, I'd say. Or wouldn't be as complex or have as much depth. And our boss is Gutsman. Good thing I went after Drillman first. Being able to pierce through the terrain is super handy. Circle strafing for fun and profit. Of course, I could have applied this same strategy to most other bosses. There's an L tank, and there's an E tank upgrade probably. Just an L tank upgrade. I need floating platforms or a jump upgrade. Let's see what the life module does. Regain 1 life per enemy destroyed. That's super handy. I will take it, thank you very much. So that's the mines completed so far. I can't defeat the third Roadmaster until I get a jump extension or explosives. So far, I'm really enjoying this experience. The payoff is certainly worth it, and I can see this game has a lot more polish compared to its 2 predecessors. I also can't understate how much content this game has, with a much bigger world to explore, as well as at least 50 Roadmasters. Though it still has some kinks, as we saw with the introduction of the count bombs, as well as the wire-guided bombs. So in the next part, I'll be completing the other facility located in the southern part of Megacity. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!